Building strong social connections and mastering the art of communication are essential skills that can transform personal and professional relationships. Many people struggle with social interactions, feeling uncertain about how to start conversations, keep them engaging, or leave a lasting impression. However, the ability to communicate effectively is not an innate talent but a learned skill. Those who excel in social situations understand the nuances of human psychology and use specific techniques to create meaningful connections. One of the most fundamental aspects of successful communication is making a powerful first impression. Studies show that people form judgments about others within seconds of meeting them. These initial impressions are often based on nonverbal cues such as body language, facial expressions, and posture. A confident stance, direct eye contact, and a warm, genuine smile can instantly make someone more likable and approachable. People are naturally drawn to those who exude confidence and positivity. By mastering these subtle but powerful cues, individuals can significantly enhance their social presence. Another key element of effective communication is understanding the importance of listening. Many people focus too much on what they will say next rather than truly hearing the other person. Active listening involves fully engaging in a conversation, showing interest through nodding and facial expressions, and responding thoughtfully. This not only makes the speaker feel valued but also allows for deeper, more meaningful interactions. People appreciate those who genuinely listen, as it creates a sense of connection and trust. The way a person speaks also plays a crucial role in how they are perceived. Using a confident, steady voice with clear articulation conveys authority and intelligence. Avoiding filler words such as and like helps maintain credibility. Pausing before responding demonstrates thoughtfulness and prevents rushed, nervous speech. The tone of voice can also influence how a message is received. Speaking with warmth and enthusiasm makes interactions more engaging and pleasant. Body language is a powerful form of communication that often speaks louder than words. Open, relaxed gestures signal confidence and friendliness, while closed-off or defensive postures can create barriers. Mirroring the other person's body language subtly builds rapport and establishes a sense of connection. Leaning slightly forward indicates interest, while maintaining appropriate eye contact shows engagement. Mastering these nonverbal cues allows individuals to create a positive presence in any social setting. Engaging in meaningful conversations requires the ability to ask the right questions. People enjoy talking about themselves and their experiences, so asking open-ended questions encourages deeper discussions. Instead of simple yes or no questions, asking "What's the most interesting part of your job?" or "How did you get started in your field?" invites the other person to share more about themselves. This approach not only keeps the conversation flowing but also demonstrates genuine curiosity and interest. The ability to give compliments effectively is another essential social skill. Compliments should be specific and sincere rather than generic. Instead of saying, "You're smart," a more impactful compliment would be, "I really admire the way you explain complex ideas so clearly." Genuine praise creates a positive impression and strengthens relationships. However, excessive flattery can seem insincere, so compliments should be used thoughtfully. A common mistake in social interactions is dominating the conversation. While sharing personal stories and experiences is important, balancing speaking and listening is key. People who talk excessively about themselves without engaging the other person can come across as self-centered. The best communicators know how to keep the focus on the other person while contributing meaningfully to the discussion. Humor is a valuable tool in social interactions, as it helps build rapport and makes conversations more enjoyable. A well-placed joke or light-hearted comment can ease tension and create a sense of connection. However, humor should always be appropriate for the situation and audience. Sarcasm or jokes at someone else's expense can damage relationships rather than strengthen them. Understanding social dynamics also involves recognizing the power of names. People feel a stronger connection when their name is used in conversation. Remembering and using names demonstrates attentiveness and respect. A simple, "It was great talking to you, Sarah," leaves a more lasting impression than a generic goodbye. Associating names with visual cues or repeating them in conversation can help with retention. Networking and building social connections require the ability to make others feel important. People naturally gravitate toward those who acknowledge their contributions and appreciate their presence. Small gestures, such as remembering details from past conversations or expressing gratitude, strengthen relationships. Acknowledging others' achievements and making them feel valued fosters goodwill and deeper connections. Social confidence is not just about talking, it is also about knowing when to remain silent. Moments of thoughtful silence can create intrigue and demonstrate self-assurance. Rushing to fill every pause with words can make a person seem nervous or insecure. Embracing silence and allowing space for reflection enhances the depth of conversations. Another essential aspect of social success is adaptability. Different social situations require different approaches. A casual conversation with a friend is different from a professional networking event. Understanding social cues and adjusting communication style accordingly ensures smooth interactions. Those who can read the room and respond appropriately build stronger connections and gain respect. Point 1 of the biggest barriers to effective communication is fear. Fear of rejection, fear of saying the wrong thing, or fear of being judged. Overcoming social anxiety requires practice and a shift in mindset. Viewing social interactions as opportunities for learning and connection rather than high-stakes performances reduces pressure. Confidence comes from experience, and every interaction is a chance to improve. At its core, effective communication is about making others feel valued, heard, and understood. It is not about impressing people with elaborate stories or dominating conversations. It is about building genuine relationships through attentiveness, authenticity, and mutual respect. By mastering these skills, anyone can enhance their social presence, create lasting connections, and navigate any social situation with ease. Mastering social interactions is not about memorizing scripts or forcing conversations, it is about developing a natural presence that makes others feel comfortable and valued. People are drawn to those who exude warmth, confidence, and genuine interest in others. When engaging with someone, small but intentional behaviors can make a significant difference. A slight nod, an encouraging smile, or a well-timed pause can signal attentiveness and encourage the other person to share more openly. Conversations should feel effortless, and this happens when both parties feel heard and appreciated. Point 1 powerful tool in social interactions is the ability to adapt to different personalities. Some people are naturally extroverted and enjoy animated discussions, while others are more reserved and appreciate quieter, more thoughtful exchanges. Understanding these differences allows for smoother interactions. Mirroring the energy and communication style of the other person helps create a sense of connection. For instance, if someone speaks softly and slowly, responding in a similar tone can make the conversation feel more natural. On the other hand, if someone is enthusiastic and expressive, matching their energy can create a sense of harmony. Confidence plays a major role in effective communication, but it should never come across as arrogance. True confidence is demonstrated through a relaxed demeanor, steady eye contact, and the ability to listen without feeling the need to prove oneself. Over-explaining, constantly seeking validation, or speaking excessively about personal achievements can make a person seem insecure rather than confident. Those who master social interactions know that less is often more. A well-placed statement or a simple nod can carry more weight than a long-winded explanation. The way people respond to compliments and praise also reveals their level of confidence. Many individuals instinctively downplay compliments by responding with phrases like, "Oh, it was nothing," or "I got lucky." While humility is valuable, dismissing compliments can make the other person feel as though their words are unappreciated. A simple "thank you, I really appreciate that" acknowledges the compliment with grace. Accepting praise confidently signals self-assurance without arrogance. One often overlooked aspect of communication is the ability to gracefully exit conversations. Ending an interaction on a positive note ensures that the other person is left with a good impression. Instead of abruptly ending a conversation or letting it fizzle out awkwardly, a smooth transition can make all the difference. Phrases such as "it was great catching up with you" or "I really enjoyed our conversation, let's connect again soon" leave the other person feeling valued rather than dismissed. A warm goodbye accompanied by a handshake or a friendly nod reinforces positive rapport. Social interactions are not just about words, they are about emotions. People remember how they felt during a conversation more than the actual words spoken. This is why storytelling can be such a powerful communication tool. A well-told story engages emotions, making interactions more memorable. Instead of simply stating facts, adding an element of personal experience or humor can make a conversation more engaging. However, storytelling should always be relevant to the discussion and should not turn into self-centered monologues. Networking, whether in professional or social settings, is not about collecting contacts but about building meaningful relationships. Many people make the mistake of approaching networking with a transactional mindset, focusing solely on what they can gain. However, the most successful networkers are those who offer value to others without expecting immediate returns. Asking thoughtful questions, sharing helpful information, and making introductions between people can create strong, lasting connections. Those who give generously in their interactions often receive even greater opportunities in return. Reading social cues is another essential skill in effective communication. Facial expressions, body language, and tone of voice reveal more than words alone. Noticing when someone seems distracted, uncomfortable, or disinterested allows for adjustments in conversation. If someone is giving short, disengaged responses, it may be a sign to shift the topic or gracefully end the interaction. Conversely, when someone is engaged and enthusiastic, recognizing these cues can encourage a deeper and more meaningful exchange. Handling difficult conversations with tact and diplomacy is another key element of social intelligence. Whether addressing a disagreement, delivering constructive criticism, or responding to a challenging question, maintaining composure is essential. Emotional reactions, defensive language, or aggressive tones can escalate conflicts rather than resolve them. Instead, remaining calm, acknowledging the other person's perspective, and responding with thoughtful, measured words lead to more productive discussions. The ability to navigate difficult conversations with poise and respect strengthens relationships and earns trust. A crucial but often neglected aspect of communication is follow-up. After a meaningful conversation, especially in professional settings, following up with a short message or email reinforces the connection. A simple note such as, "It was a pleasure meeting you today, I really enjoyed our discussion about topic" keeps the relationship warm and open for future interactions. People appreciate those who take the time to acknowledge and nurture connections. The best communicators are those who remain curious. Asking insightful questions, showing genuine interest in people's experiences, and continuously learning from others keep interactions fresh and engaging. Social skills are not about impressing people with knowledge or achievements, they are about making others feel valued, heard, and understood. By mastering these principles, anyone can enhance their ability to connect, influence, and build lasting relationships. Communication is not just a skill, it is a powerful tool that shapes personal and professional success. Those who invest in improving their social interactions gain not only stronger relationships but also greater confidence and influence in every aspect of life. A major aspect of successful social interactions is understanding the psychological needs of others. Every person desires to feel important, valued, and respected. Those who recognize and fulfill these needs naturally attract others. Complimenting people on their strengths, acknowledging their achievements, and showing appreciation for their insights creates an environment where they feel recognized. However, this must always be done sincerely. People can easily detect flattery that lacks authenticity. When someone genuinely acknowledges another's contributions, it fosters goodwill and strengthens the bond between them. Another critical element of effective communication is emotional intelligence. The ability to read, understand, and respond to emotions appropriately allows individuals to navigate social situations with ease. Emotional intelligence involves not only being aware of one's own emotions but also recognizing how others feel. This sensitivity enables people to adjust their approach based on the mood and needs of the person they are interacting with. For instance, if someone seems upset, offering empathy rather than pushing a conversation forward forcefully creates a more supportive interaction. Likewise, when someone is excited about a topic, responding with enthusiasm strengthens the connection. The art of making others feel comfortable is another skill that differentiates socially adept individuals. People are drawn to those who make social interactions feel effortless and enjoyable. One way to create this comfort is by maintaining a relaxed posture, using open body language, and demonstrating an easygoing attitude. A tense, stiff demeanor can make others feel uneasy, whereas a calm and welcoming presence encourages free-flowing conversation. A genuine smile, an occasional nod, and a light-hearted comment can instantly break tension and set a positive tone for any interaction. Engaging storytelling is a powerful tool in communication. People remember stories far more than they remember facts or statistics. A well-told story captivates the listener, making the conversation more engaging and memorable. The best storytellers know how to use vivid descriptions, humor, and suspense to keep the listener's interest. However, storytelling should always serve a purpose within the conversation. Rambling or without considering the listener's engagement can cause them to lose interest. A good storyteller knows when to pause, how to emphasize key points, and when to invite the listener into the narrative by asking questions or relating the story to their experiences. In addition to storytelling, the strategic use of humor can greatly enhance social interactions. Laughter creates an immediate bond between people, making conversations more enjoyable and relaxed. However, humor should be used carefully. What one person finds funny, another might find offensive or inappropriate. The safest and most effective humor is light-hearted, self-deprecating, or observational. Making fun of shared experiences or using witty observations about everyday situations can make interactions more engaging without alienating anyone. The ability to handle social setbacks gracefully is another trait of effective communicators. Not every interaction will go perfectly. Sometimes conversations stall, misunderstandings occur, or people respond less warmly than expected. Instead of dwelling on these moments or taking them personally, socially skilled individuals learn to pivot the conversation, acknowledge mistakes with humor or humility, and move forward without losing confidence. The key is resilience. Just as in any other skill, the more one practices social interactions, the better they become at navigating challenges. Recognizing and responding to different social dynamics is also crucial. Different settings require different approaches. What works in a casual conversation with friends may not be suitable in a formal business meeting. Understanding the unspoken rules of different social environments helps individuals adapt their communication style accordingly. In professional settings, for example, maintaining a balance between friendliness and professionalism ensures that interactions remain respectful and effective. One powerful yet often underestimated aspect of communication is silence. Many people feel uncomfortable with pauses in conversation and rush to fill them with words. However, well-placed silence can be a powerful tool. It allows the listener to process information, build suspense when telling a story, and conveys confidence. Someone who is comfortable with silence appears more composed and in control of the interaction. Pausing before responding to a question, rather than immediately jumping in, also gives the impression of thoughtfulness and intelligence. Another strategy for making strong connections is using a person's name in conversation. People are naturally drawn to hearing their own name. It creates a sense of familiarity and importance. Subtly weaving someone's name into the conversation, such as saying, "That's a great point, Sarah," or "I completely agree with you, John," reinforces the connection and makes the interaction feel more personal. However, this should be done sparingly. Overusing someone's name can come across as unnatural or forced. Making a memorable impression is not just about what one says but also about how they make others feel. People rarely remember every word of a conversation, but they always remember the emotions they experienced. By focusing on making interactions enjoyable, positive, and engaging, one ensures that others walk away with a favorable impression. The best communicators are those who leave people feeling uplifted, inspired, or simply comfortable in their presence. Mastering social interactions also involves being genuinely interested in others. People who are truly curious about others' thoughts, experiences, and perspectives naturally attract more positive social attention. Asking insightful questions and actively listening to responses makes conversations more meaningful. Those who show authentic interest in others are perceived as more likable, trustworthy, and charismatic. Networking, whether for professional or personal reasons, is often misunderstood as merely collecting contacts. In reality, it is about building relationships based on mutual value. Instead of approaching networking with the mindset of, "What can I get from this person?" successful networkers focus on, "How can I help or contribute?" Offering assistance, making introductions, and sharing valuable information without expecting immediate returns fosters goodwill. Over time, these genuine connections lead to more meaningful opportunities and collaborations. Handling social anxiety is another crucial aspect of becoming a confident communicator. Many people struggle with nerves before or during social interactions, fearing judgment or rejection. One way to manage this anxiety is by shifting focus away from oneself and onto the other person. Instead of worrying about how one is being perceived, directing attention toward making the other person comfortable helps reduce self-consciousness. Deep breathing, practicing positive self-talk, and preparing a few conversation starters can also ease nerves before engaging in social situations. At its core, successful communication is about building relationships. It is not about impressing others with wit or intelligence but about making them feel seen, heard, and valued. Those who excel in social situations understand that human connection is the foundation of meaningful interactions. They know how to use body language, voice tone, storytelling, and active listening to create conversations that others enjoy and remember. The ability to talk to anyone with ease and confidence is a skill that can be developed with practice. By focusing on being present, engaged, and adaptable in conversations, anyone can enhance their social skills. Communication is an ongoing learning process, and those who continuously refine their approach will find themselves naturally becoming more charismatic, persuasive, and socially successful. Developing strong communication skills goes beyond just speaking confidently. It requires emotional intelligence, adaptability, and a deep understanding of human behavior. People who are naturally charismatic are not necessarily born that way. They have developed habits that make others feel comfortable, valued, and engaged. One of the most important aspects of communication is the ability to make others feel heard. Many people focus too much on what they will say next instead of truly listening. Effective communicators practice active listening by maintaining eye contact, nodding at appropriate moments, and responding with thoughtful comments or follow-up questions. These small gestures reassure the speaker that they are being heard and understood. Another key skill in social interactions is the ability to read and respond to emotions. People express their feelings not just through words but through body language, tone of voice, and subtle facial expressions. Understanding these signals allows one to adjust their approach in real time. For example, if someone appears disengaged or uncomfortable, shifting the topic to something more relatable can help re-engage them. Similarly, if someone is excited and enthusiastic, mirroring their energy can strengthen the connection. Developing a strong presence is also crucial in effective communication. People are naturally drawn to those who exude confidence and positivity. This doesn't mean being loud or dominant in conversations but rather maintaining an open and approachable demeanor. Good posture, a calm yet expressive voice, and a relaxed attitude contribute to a strong presence. Smiling genuinely and maintaining eye contact without staring too intensely also create a welcoming and confident impression. Building trust is another essential component of successful social interactions. Trust is established when people feel that someone is authentic and reliable. One of the fastest ways to break trust is by being overly self-promotional or insincere. Instead, being honest, consistent, and genuinely interested in others creates deeper connections. A good rule of thumb is to focus on giving rather than taking in conversations. People are naturally drawn to those who offer value, whether through encouragement, support, or simply being a good listener. The ability to handle awkward moments gracefully is another hallmark of a great communicator. Everyone experiences social mishaps, whether it's forgetting someone's name, misinterpreting a joke, or encountering an unexpected silence in conversation. The key is to remain composed and not let these moments create unnecessary tension. A light-hearted attitude and the ability to laugh at oneself can quickly diffuse awkwardness. If a mistake is made, acknowledging it with humility rather than over-explaining helps maintain credibility and ease the situation. Another aspect of mastering social interactions is learning how to engage different personality types. Some people are naturally outgoing and expressive, while others are more reserved and introspective. Tailoring one's communication style to fit the personality of the person they are speaking with enhances connection. For example, with an extroverted person, engaging in lively, enthusiastic discussions works well. On the other hand, with someone more reserved, a calmer, more thoughtful approach may be more effective. One of the most powerful ways to leave a lasting impression is through storytelling. Humans are wired to connect with narratives, and a well-told story can make an interaction memorable. The key to effective storytelling is brevity, relevance, and emotional engagement. A great story should have a clear point and be told with enthusiasm but without dragging on. Adding humor, suspense, or a personal connection makes stories even more engaging. However, storytelling should always be balanced with active listening. Monologuing for too long can make a conversation one-sided. Networking and socializing in group settings require additional skills. In conversations with multiple people, strong communicators know how to include everyone and prevent any one person from feeling left out. This can be done by making eye contact with different members of the group, inviting quieter individuals into the discussion, and steering the conversation toward common interests. Being socially aware and recognizing when someone might feel excluded allows one to create a more inclusive and dynamic interaction. Another often overlooked but crucial skill is the ability to end conversations smoothly. Many people struggle with how to gracefully exit a discussion without seeming abrupt or disinterested. A simple way to transition out of a conversation is to summarize a key point from the discussion, express appreciation, and provide a natural closing statement. For example, saying, "I really enjoyed talking with you about topic. I have to step away now, but I'd love to continue this another time," ensures a polite and positive exit. The final element of mastering social interactions is continuous practice. No one becomes an exceptional communicator overnight. The best way to improve is by seeking out social opportunities, observing how skilled communicators interact, and making small adjustments based on feedback. Over time, these skills become second nature, allowing for effortless and meaningful interactions in any setting. By focusing on making others feel valued, being present in conversations, and refining social awareness, anyone can develop the ability to talk to anyone with confidence and ease. Communication is not about impressing others, it's about building genuine connections, fostering trust, and leaving people with a positive and lasting impression. Those who invest in improving their social skills unlock greater personal and professional success, as well as more fulfilling relationships. True mastery of social interactions lies in understanding human nature and applying that understanding in a way that fosters strong, meaningful connections. The final component of becoming an exceptional communicator is the ability to influence, inspire, and create lasting impressions on others. This is not about manipulation or superficial charm, but about engaging with people in a way that makes them feel genuinely valued and respected. One of the most effective ways to influence people is by aligning with their values and interests. People naturally gravitate toward those who understand and acknowledge their perspectives. This does not mean always agreeing, but rather showing empathy and curiosity about what matters to them. Asking thoughtful questions, actively listening to their concerns, and validating their emotions help to build deeper trust. When people feel understood, they are more open to meaningful conversations and new ideas. Another powerful communication strategy is the ability to subtly guide conversations. Instead of dominating discussions or pushing opinions forcefully, skilled communicators lead interactions by asking open-ended questions, encouraging participation, and allowing the other person to feel in control. A conversation should feel like a natural exchange, not a debate or a performance. One way to achieve this is by responding with phrases that invite deeper discussion, such as, "That's really interesting, what led you to that perspective?" or "I'd love to hear more about your experience with that." Nonverbal communication also plays a major role in making a lasting impression. People respond to more than just words, they pick up on body language, facial expressions, and tone of voice. A person who speaks with warmth, maintains good posture, and uses expressive gestures naturally draws others in. A simple tilt of the head while listening, maintaining eye contact without staring, and using a relaxed but engaged stance can make a conversation more inviting. Building a sense of rapport quickly is another key skill. One of the fastest ways to establish rapport is through mirroring, subtly matching the other person's energy, speech patterns, and mannerisms. This does not mean copying them exactly, but rather adjusting to their level of enthusiasm or pace of speaking to create a sense of alignment. When done naturally, mirroring makes interactions feel smoother and more comfortable. Another way to strengthen connections is through shared experiences. People bond over common interests, mutual acquaintances, or similar life experiences. Finding a shared connection early in a conversation creates an immediate sense of familiarity. This can be done by paying attention to clues in what the other person says and drawing parallels to one's own experiences. For example, if someone mentions a hobby, responding with, "That's fascinating, I've always wanted to try that," or "I had a similar experience when I visited a place," keeps the conversation flowing naturally. The way a person ends an interaction is just as important as how they begin it. Leaving on a high note ensures that the other person remembers the conversation positively. Expressing gratitude, summarizing an interesting point from the discussion, and showing enthusiasm about future interactions make a strong final impression. A simple, "I really enjoyed our conversation, I'd love to continue this another time," or "It was great talking with you, and I hope we cross paths again soon," leaves the interaction open-ended and welcoming. One of the ultimate tests of communication skills is handling difficult or tense conversations with grace. Whether dealing with conflict, disagreement, or criticism, remaining calm and composed is crucial. Reacting emotionally or defensively can escalate tensions, while responding with patience and understanding helps de-escalate situations. Acknowledging the other person's viewpoint before presenting one's own perspective creates a more balanced and respectful discussion. Phrases like, "I see where you're coming from," or "That's an interesting point, I hadn't considered it that way," demonstrate open-mindedness while still allowing room for disagreement. The ability to connect with anyone in any situation is not about having a perfect script or an extensive vocabulary. It is about presence, emotional intelligence, and adaptability. Those who master social interactions understand that people crave authenticity, warmth, and engagement. They know how to listen deeply, express themselves clearly, and create an environment where others feel comfortable and valued. Ultimately, social success is about making others feel good in one's presence. The most memorable people are not those who talk the most or try the hardest to impress. They are those who make others feel seen, heard, and appreciated. When interactions are approached with genuine interest, positive energy, and respect, they naturally become more rewarding. By consistently applying these principles, anyone can transform the way they communicate, build stronger relationships, and create a lasting impact in both personal and professional settings. The ability to talk to anyone with confidence, charm, and ease is not a talent reserved for a select few. It is a skill that can be cultivated and refined over time. With practice, patience, and a focus on making meaningful connections, anyone can become a master of conversation and social influence.